Hey, True Believers England teen here with another bad comic beatdown. It's Marvel Voices Indigenous. My goodness gracious. Okay, so there's so much to say about this. First of all, this cover could make its own video about how bad it is. So I will probably attempt that at some point in time. But I really want to kind of go page for page. Not every page is going to be worthy of ridicule, but we're going to give it a shot. All right. So let's start with I'm sorry. When I saw this, I was like, holy crap. This is like a hey fellow teens kind of 1960s Silver Age mistake. Let's draw the totem pole because, you know, Indian. And we're going to show how with it we are, aren't we, fellow kids? But the real message of this page is that the watcher who's been watching Heroes for Eons actually falls into the social justice warrior traps of giving a shit about Americans' identitarian problem. And by that I mean our problem with identitarians. I gotta give a shout out to the fact that they don't put everybody in different tribes just to show even more diversity. There are some that were larger than others, Seminole, of course, being huge here in Florida. What I doubt, of course, is that Marvel's going to show you how Seminole became so big, or Apache, by slaughtering and killing other Indians and and stealing their land and raping the women. And it's just, I'm sorry, gang, but the whole bit about the noble Indian doesn't exist. It's a whole, and that, oh, they lived with the land. Everybody did back then. Everybody. That's how you survived. But the real story starts off in modern day. We see Echo. She's ignoring all sorts of advice and such. She says, sometimes I feel so weighed down by my past that I fear it's suffocating any chance I have for a future. What you should worry about suffocating on is that crooked ass big nose in this horrible ass art. Is she muscular? Is she flabby? What's going on? I get this modern day we need to make every woman big bottomed thing. But what is seriously wrong with the face on this one? This is how Marvel wants to represent the American Indian? This is what they're saying. Hey, we're going to do them proud by making them the ugliest creatures on the face of the planet. She goes on to say, well, I've taken a lot of hits from... I'm just going to speak in that voice when I'm talking about her, I guess, because there's nothing female about this creature right here. And she's saying, I've taken a lot of hits in my life, most of them from guys like these. And you see a couple of bullies beating her up. Like, I'm like, okay, first of all, let's put yourself in the hero world. If you see somebody in spandex, why are you going to go up and punish them? And, of course, we get what's going on. It's a bullying thing. It's either because she's a woman or because she's, I guess, Indian. Not that I think they would be able to tell that, by the way. But she also says, and these, and I guess that's the Daredevil thing on her cell phone, meaning, oh, wait, I want to give you, you know, I know you're hurting, because she got a lot of messages there from people who were trying to help, but she's, hey, shut up, man, and she even says that at the bottom. You can't say, I don't hit back, and you see all these guys knocked out, and she's like, men, why can't they just let me be? And then we have Captain Marvel, derp. Yeah, Echo, derp. You would think that Gene Colan and Roy Thomas went around to everyone who works at Modern Marvel and screwed their mothers in order to make them hate Carol Danvers so much to put them through this kind of torture. How can you look at the art of the past and then look at this and go, yeah, that's good, we should keep that. But I would like to point out that this is a book about Indians, or Indian characters, and here we have Captain Marvel being shoved down our throats again. Derp. Gotta get the white girl in, because diversity, derp. So they try to set off the plot. Captain Marvel's like, hey, in this other planet, there's a Badoon swamp god that's terrorizing people, and Echo's like, why don't the females fight him? Which is ignorant, and it's why this kind of stuff doesn't work in the hands of Marvel, because it's forced, it's not real. Why doesn't the people fight them? Okay. They could have mentioned, well, this is a race where the warriors are the female. Okay, fine, put that out there. But that kind of dialogue just doesn't work, guys. So they show up on the planet, and the indigenous people there say, hey, Halder, we're going to be killing you. And they're like, wait, I thought you said they were pacifists. And Carol turns into Loki, and he disappears. And then Echo gets hit in the head. So Echo flips over, grabs the spears, like, why'd you hit me? She was confused. What's going on here? What do you have to do with Loki? Nothing, but if he brought you here, I'm very grateful. I would like to talk about a little bit of comic book art here because this is bothering me. Look at the middle panel. Look at how her head is sloped out, and it is ugly art. Don't get me wrong here. The kind of forehead kind of blends into the nose. Her eyebrows are touching, and now look at the bottom where she's looking at the whatever this is, and her face is flat. Nothing like the one above it. At the very least, can we get artist consistency? I know it's a losing battle that if we're going to be drawing faces, can we please have standards to those faces? If you're going to draw a Catwoman with the first person to draw a Catwoman with high cheekbones, okay, now she's got high cheekbones. Can we start agreeing on how people look? But I get it. I've lost that battle. It's never going to happen. But at the very least, can you have consistency with the same freaking artist? So Echo goes off on how the Badoon accept her and she hears their stories. She walks outside to have a conversation. How tall is this Badoon, by the way? Because there's a scene earlier where she's the same height and then it looks like she's standing in some sort of ditch and now she's towering over her. A little consistent. I know I pointed out the inconsistency before, but damn. Anyway, she walks outside after hearing some stories. The Badoon comes out and says, "Is something wrong?" He says, "No, your home reminds me of a place I once knew. We called it the Res, but it wasn't a real reservation, just a spot us native misfits could call home. The people there were my family, but that's all gone now." I'm not a big fan of the native thing. I'm not a big fan of calling, oh, hey, we're going to separate people more. First of all, no one's really native. They came over the Bering Straits. Everybody came from somewhere. But you are. No one races. If you were born in America, congratulations, you Native American, you. Let's see. It is hard to live with what has been lost. The Badoon carry that weight too. But look, we look to the future now to each other. And Echo says, "That sounds nice. Which part? A future, family, all of it, I guess. But I don't think that's my destiny." Now, she's deaf, right? And yeah, they mentioned she could look at her, she could read lips. Sure, fine, but she's got to be looking at the person to do that, and she doesn't in this conversation. So the Badoon says, "Hey, I'll look into your future." And she's like, "I don't know if I want to. I've been living so much in the past. I may not like what I see." And she's like, "I'll do it. You want me to?" And she goes, "Do it." And then the Badoon hits the ground. She's saying, "All I saw was fire." And she's like, "Hey, don't worry, you tried. Let's get some sleep, and tomorrow I take on a god, which is somehow a little less scary than my future." Wow, this girl Echo would be great at parties, wouldn't she? So the next morning we see Echo, and she is basically in front of this big guy, the god and everything, and the Badoon that brought her here is saying, "He makes us fight gladiator style for his entertainment. He thinks it's funny to make us compromise our values to amuse him." I want to talk about the Badoon afterwards. And Echo's like, "Oh, great, just my type." And then we see the god. "Where are today's fighters? I demand blood." And we see Echo standing there with a spear. "Dara and the women tell me you're a bully. I think it's time you take on someone who doesn't mind a little violence." And then he says something, and Echo's like, "What is this jerk going on about? Doesn't matter. This ends one way." She throws the spear. So we're supposed to say that, we're supposed to understand that she throws the spear, but then arrives just in time for the spear to hit, which I guess he's supposed to react to, and then she's supposed to kick him in the face. But they don't really show that. They just show the spear above the head and she's kicking him in the face. Now, he immediately swings at her, and then with both legs as she's holding, and she is just a minuscule person compared to this thing, she kicks him in the chest. And we're supposed to believe that a kick in the face doesn't stop the creature, but a kick in the chest does. I mean, if they explained something that said, "Hey, this guy has a problem with in his chest, and that's why it's easy to take him down," okay. But they didn't do that. But trust me, it ain't gonna happen that way. But anyway, according to them, it does. And she's sitting there, this tiny thing on the chest that her punches and kicks should have had very little effect. And saying, "I should kill you. You deserve it for the torment you put these women through, but you've already taught these people these people, let me try that again. You've already taught these peaceful people enough about violence. I won't add to that. Let them deal with you as they wish. Which implies that they're going to kill him. Think about that. Oh, these peaceful people. But now they're going to kill you. Well, the writing is just horrible. Not as bad as the art, but pretty damn horrible. And the story ends with the Badoon saying, hey, you could stay. And her Echo saying, nah, I got things to do back home. And then Loki's there going, well, Maya, you may be ready for what comes next, as if anybody's going to be using the Echo character too much in the future. Look, this is a one-off. It's a signaling of the virtue. That is absolutely it. And it is just one in a series of stories in this book, but I'll tell you what, I'm only going to do this one for this video. Maybe I'll break it down and do others. I have to say that these people did nothing for their people in this in this book. You know what? I need to face reveal for this. It's weird to read this. First of all, it sucks in so many different ways. I want to do a video based on how bad the cover is alone. The totem pole watcher thing at the very beginning is ridiculous. The story is horrible. Weren't the Badoon, by the way? They were originally Guardians of the Galaxy villains who had conquered the universe, like different planets and everything. Exactly what they would accuse the white man of. I'm serious. That was what the Badoon were. And now they're like, oh, they're so inviting to us. We did a video a little bit ago on why Marvel comics suck, and really they're about why we're being unfair to Marvel because it's about why the comic book industry as a whole sucks. And one of the things we said, it was lack of continuity. Well, holy Toledo, that's what's shown here. Or at least, you know, we've got to see where the Badoon are like, hey, we love this American Indian. Let's learn about their history. You know what? We could do the same thing to every planet in the universe. Let's do that. And let's see how that goes to tie into the Guardian of the Galaxy future. It's a ridiculous. This book was ridiculously bad, and obviously it wanted to do not only what gets me about this is it wanted to do the female rah-rah empowerment, but not the Indian rah-rah empowerment. And that's what I think is kind of funny, because this whole thing is about, hey, let's highlight the American Indian and such like that. So this book, so far, this is only story number 1. And considering this video was 10 minutes, I figure if I'm going to do more, I'll separate the stories down the line. But this was only story number 1. And I got to say, right out of the gate, book, you failed. Marvel, you do this constantly. You try to you try to signal your virtue, and you fall on your face. This sucked beyond suckdom. This could, if they continued, could possibly have become the new America Chavez. It is that freaking bad. Except for it's just not as fun. It really isn't. Echo is a downer. She's a Debbie Downer. You know, everybody's, what was that? Every party has a pooper. That's why we invited you, little Echo. It's really just, come on. But you know what? You probably knew this. I don't think you were looking at this one going, you know, this is going to be the book of the year right here. This is going to be the one that we should get. Anyway, if you have read it, let me know what you think in the comments below. Do the whole thing. Like, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell. Make sure notifications are on. That's important. If you don't mind, help out the channel. Go on over to Patreon or Ko-Fi. Links in the description below. Drop $1 in the till. This is the way we're trying to make a living. See ya. And like, thank everybody who's already done that. And to everyone, all of the true believers, thank you very, very much for watching.